Nothing breaks my heart more than when I see INFJs and gentle souls struggle with imposter syndrome. Most INFJs that I have come across have a deep desire to leave a positive impact on the world, whether that's through online entrepreneurship or starting non-for-profits. The thing is, this little thing of imposter syndrome gets in the way, creates a block, and causes the INFJ to freeze up and not get anything done. I sometimes wonder how many amazing things we could see in the world if we didn't allow imposter syndrome to get a hold of us. Imposter syndrome is that sneaky little thing that whispers in your ear, "You're a fraud, you're not good enough, who do you think you are?" It's that anxious feeling of not being qualified enough in doing what you're doing or being incompetent at your job. Can you believe that even PhD holders in their field can still experience imposter syndrome? Let me know in the comments what you think about this. I feel like INFJs experience imposter syndrome because they are such big picture people and they have a thirst for knowledge. The problem is, the more you learn and read and grow, the more you realize that there's so much that you don't yet know about. And because you have this knowledge that there's still so much to learn and read about, you can begin to feel unqualified or incompetent in what you do. I am no stranger to imposter syndrome. In my 20s, I studied the highest qualification to become a youth worker. But then I spent the next 10 years feeling like a complete imposter, wondering when people were going to figure out that I didn't really know what I was doing. At least that's how I felt. I felt like I didn't really know what I was doing, but in reality, I did. Now that I'm a counsellor, I'm very aware of what imposter syndrome looks like and how it can rear its ugly head. The more I learn about therapy and how to be the best therapist, it always highlights to me how far I've got to go on my journey. But just because there's still so much for me to learn and improve on doesn't mean that I don't actually know what I'm doing today. Of course I'll be learning, just like you. You should always be striving to learn and grow, right up until old age. Just because there's continuous learning to be had doesn't mean you're a fraud or an imposter. You are probably excellent at what you do. INFJs also probably struggle with imposter syndrome because of perfectionism. If you gave me $1 for every person that has told me they're a perfectionist, well, I would be incredibly rich. We can get stuck and frozen in place because sometimes for us to launch something, we feel like it needs to be perfect, just right. The trick is, you gotta learn that not everything needs to be perfect. There is beauty in the imperfect. There is power in the ability to show up as your raw and authentic, imperfect self. Yes, do what you can to make something incredible, but don't get in a place where you do nothing for the fear it won't be good enough. If you want to overcome the feeling of imposter syndrome, you might need to do some inner work and reflect on what your core beliefs are. You can help change your story. If you know what your thoughts are and you know where they come from, and you know that it's probably related to imposter syndrome, then you have more power to change your narrative. And of course, it's time to embrace your authentic self. I'll sing this until the cows come home. It's important that you learn to come to a place of self-acceptance and self-love, to embrace all of your qualities, the good, the bad, and the ugly, to celebrate your strengths and love your weaknesses. Remind yourself that you're not a fraud. You know what you're doing, and if you don't know, you'll endeavor to learn. It's time to look imposter syndrome in the eye and say, enough is enough. Get up, brush it off, and do the thing, whatever that thing is. Start your business, create your logo, take steps and action. Small steps is always better than no steps. Know that I believe in you. You've got this. If you need extra support in the process, you can book an appointment with me. The link is down in the description. And if you're wondering what some of your strengths are as an INFJ, so you can really kick that imposter syndrome's butt, then click on this next video and I'll see you over there.